Milestone 1, Task 2, or Circle 2 analysis. This assignment is a literal cover design. You're making a horizontal and vertical cover for a book titled 50 States of Wonder, which is a new travel book. You'd use the principles and elements of design as well as other techniques. Also have your camera setting on manual for all imagery. And Sherilyn, you have your vertical image is of a water faucet. Actually, it's a real interesting faucet. It's got a lot of detail. You've taken it kind of as a slight diagonal moving into the page. You're using a rule of thirds. Maybe you have a little more space on the top and interesting shapes that it's creating. You have shadow detail and highlight detail. And in your horizontal, same thing, except the sky. As you can see, you've got a lot of texture on the bark, but the sky is kind of blowing out, so I'm going to come back with the highlights and then open up the shadows and add my blacks back in. So we move from this particular image to this one. You can see all the detail that's been missing. However, I think you have better images on your contact sheet. Let's look at this. You are using a good ISO. You have sequential numbering, which is fantastic. But your camera is set to automatic. And you have to use manual settings. You seem to be bouncing all over the place. I don't know why it says manual. It seems to have it. So I want you to check your camera just because you need to be sure it's set on manual. A couple of images that I think might be better for this particular assignment is this one. Number 29. It's got a nice kind of curved line coming in. It's using rule of thirds, room for the type for the book. Shows an interesting play area. And I think that one works pretty well for the vertical, and it's a little bit more distinctive than your horizontal. Also, maybe one of these park images. This gazebo is really beautiful. I don't see when your next shots, why don't you go in and try to take some more images of it, showing, a nice area, maybe to picnic. So like number 5 might be a better image for the horizontal. The water fountain's interesting. I'd like to see some interaction, maybe people in the picture, models in the picture, something that shows people interacting and having a good time. A water fountain all by itself, I'm not sure if that, when you think about it, would you buy a travel book with that in there? Also try to use your rule of thirds when you're shooting. Most of these you did. Your pictures are looking pretty good. I am concerned, however, that your exposures are, something is not set to manual. So you need to double check that and let me know. But overall, you're doing great. Keep going with it. Take more images that are more specific to travel, not just a picture of a tree, but also full frame would be an equal border or full page or equal border around everything. And this one is pretty centered. It's better to use rule of thirds. Where are you going to put the type to on this? It's quite busy. So the ones that I showed you, the images, I think would be better. And here's even the park with the gazebo. But this pole there's a little bit too much in there. I think you can get a better angle if you can get back to the park with the gazebo. This is a beautiful pattern, but it's not going to be good for the travel book. I don't think. Well, maybe you can get this pattern in the picture, maybe with some people, by getting a down and looking up, getting a different point of view. Something to show that it would be a good place to go. So I want you to use your imagination for that. Setting up your contact sheet. With horizontal and vertical on each line, and you can alternate it. Also helps. Looks like you're actually you're doing that in most of your things, but this one you didn't, and it helps to get the at least the vertical on a horizontal page orientation high or larger. Also, you need to shoot half of your images in vertical and half in horizontal. And that will conclude Milestone 1, Task 2, or Circle 2 analysis.